Hi, I'm Russ Watson. Welcome to Florida Manufactured Home Living. Join me as I discuss 5 mistakes folks looking to buy into Florida manufactured housing communities often make. I'm guessing that you're here because you've been thinking that maybe, just maybe, a Florida manufactured home could be the key to your retirement dream. Are you tired of cold winters, the big house that's become more work than joy, or the feeling that retirement isn't quite what you imagined? I've been there myself. And now you're wondering, could a Florida manufactured home community really be the answer? Well, that's exactly what we're here to explore together. You've worked hard your whole life. You raised a family, paid a mortgage, and did everything right. By now, the kids are grown, the house feels bigger than you need, and every winter seems to drag on a little longer than the last. Sometimes you catch yourself wondering, is this really what retirement's supposed to feel like? For years, you've imagined something different. Waking up in the Florida sunshine instead of snow, neighbors who wave when you pass, friends who gather for morning coffee or pickleball, a community that feels alive again. That picture of Florida living isn't a fantasy. It's absolutely real. But if you've started looking, you already know how overwhelming it can be. There are hundreds of communities, all promising paradise. Some are affordable, some are not. Some look perfect online until you learn about hidden costs, sky-high lot rents, or rules that don't fit your lifestyle. And that's the danger. One wrong move can turn your dream into years of regret. But there is a solution, one most people overlook. Across Florida, thousands of retirees are discovering a better way to live. Places where neighbors become friends, where costs stay predictable, and where life feels simple again, without giving up comfort, security, or pride. And when you find the right one, the one that fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your dreams, everything changes. Because retirement isn't about where you live, it's about how you live. And that's what Florida manufactured home living is all about. Helping you live better in retirement, not just somewhere different. Because while Florida living can be wonderful, it's also full of traps and pitfalls that too many people don't see coming. So before you make a move, before you even start calling communities or signing papers, here are some of the most common problems you'll want to avoid. The first mistake is trusting the wrong people. Most folks I've met in these communities started their search with a friend who already lives there or a salesperson they met either while driving around or connected with online. That's not to say these people aren't trustworthy or well-intentioned. They probably are, but their priorities aren't always the same as yours. Let's take a closer look at why that advice might not lead to your retirement dream. A salesperson's job is to sell homes. They don't make money by finding you the right home. They're paid by the seller to close the deal. Unless the home is real property, sold with the land, the salesperson isn't even obligated to disclose defects in the home or unfair terms in the land lease contract. In fact, since the worst parks often have many homes for sale, it's in their interest to create demand for those homes. So by the time you're talking with a salesperson, you need to already know what you're looking for, what questions to ask, and what pitfalls to avoid. Friends and relatives think they're doing you a favor recommending a park that's been right for them. In fact, a large percentage of people I've met, especially in the better parks, move because they know a friend or relative who already lives there. And for many, this works out fine. It's a great place to start. But their dream is unique to their lifestyle and their budget. Before you rush to buy the next available home in that park, just because you know someone there, take the time to evaluate your dream and your needs. Does this particular park and the homes within it really meet them? How much of your retirement dream revolves around being with these people day in and day out? In most areas, you can find a dozen parks or more within a 15-minute drive. So if being close enough to see your friend or relative every day is important, at least compare those other options to see if they better fit your needs and your dream. Among folks that I talk to who live in parks today, very few even know what other options are nearby, even years after moving in. So once someone's given you the itch to move down and enjoy the lifestyle they're living, you need to evaluate that decision through a framework that identifies your needs. At a minimum, you should be comparing nearby opportunities to make sure you're getting a good deal. Without a clear plan and an unbiased guide, it's far too easy to make lifelong decisions based on someone else's comfort zone instead of your own. The second mistake is focusing on the home instead of the lifestyle. I've met countless retirees who fell in love with a floor plan, a screen porch, or a kitchen island, but once they moved in, they realized the community around them didn't fit who they were. The home was perfect. The life outside of it, not so much. This is especially true in less desirable communities. Homes there may be particularly cheap, and as long as the pool looks inviting and the clubhouse is still standing, the salesperson has a good chance of selling you based solely upon the home. A great retirement is not about square footage. It's about fit. The people, the activities, the sense of connection, those are what make every day feel right. A bargain home with beautiful features in a community that doesn't fit you will quickly become another income opportunity for the same salesperson who sold it to you. Figuring out what you want from a community and how to determine if you found it takes intention and a plan that looks beyond the walls of the house. The third mistake is underestimating long-term costs. It's easy to get caught up in a home's price tag. Hey, we can buy that for $60,000. But what really matters is the ongoing cost of living. Lot rent, HOA fees, utilities, insurance, and maintenance, they all add up and they all change over time. In fact, many folks aren't even aware of the hidden costs buried in the contracts they sign when they buy the home. I've seen retirees move in comfortably only to watch their expenses rise year after year until that affordable dream home must be sold and all the friends they've made are left behind. You might think that resident-owned communities are immune to these problems, but that's simply not true. While monthly costs may be lower, there's another whole set of hidden risks and costs associated with those communities. You shouldn't have to gamble with your future. A clear plan, one that accounts for both today and tomorrow, makes your dreams sustainable and your stress low. A framework that exposes potential long-term costs and allows you to budget monthly, yearly, and into the future is the answer to this problem. These days, it's easy to fall in love with a home you've only seen online. The photos are bright, the room's spotless, and everything looks move-in ready. Salespeople will even offer to send you complete photo walkthroughs or videos so you can buy from home without ever setting foot in Florida. But here's the truth. Pictures and brochures are designed to sell, not to reveal. They show the sunshine, not the shadows. They highlight every feature, but rarely show what's behind the camera. The aging roof, the worn flooring, or the community's real condition after 5 p.m. when the photographers have gone home. That's why you should never buy a home in Florida sight unseen, no matter how good it looks online. You need to visit to feel the community, to see how it lives day to day. And you need a checklist built from your own wants, needs, and priorities to verify whether a home and community truly fit your lifestyle and budget. Without that plan, emotion takes over. And emotion is what causes most retirees to make expensive mistakes. A framework that walks you through all the possibilities empowers you to ask the right questions and evaluate what you're seeing through a clear lens, not through the perfect picture someone else painted. One of the biggest mistakes I see retirees make has to do with timing, either jumping in too fast or waiting too long. Some get caught up in the excitement, find a home that looks perfect, and buy before they've really taken the time to understand what they want, what they can afford, and what pitfalls to avoid. It's an emotional decision, and too often it leads to regret. Without a framework to guide you, it's easy to mistake impulse for clarity. On the other end of the spectrum are those who wait too long to even begin. They keep researching, hoping someday it'll all make sense. But while they hesitate, prices climb, and the best opportunities pass them by. In Florida's better communities, only a handful of homes come on the market at any given time. The retirees who succeed are the ones who prepare early, who use a framework to evaluate their needs, have their finances in order, and can move confidently when the right home appears. That's why the smartest move you can make right now isn't to buy a house. It's to evaluate your needs and understand the pitfalls. Start defining what you want, what you'll need, and how you'll recognize the right fit when it appears. Because when you have clarity before you start, time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. And that kind of preparation, guided, focused, and informed, is what separates those who stumble through the process from those who find exactly what they've been dreaming of. Getting you to your Florida dream is why I created the Inner Circle. Inner Circle members receive additional access, allowing you to keep learning, stay informed, and take steady steps toward your Florida retirement dream. Inside the Inner Circle, you'll get resources reserved for Inner Circle members, updates when new guides and videos are released, and early notification when registration opens for my Florida Retirement Compass, the step-by-step framework that helps you confidently plan your retirement in a Florida manufactured home community. If you're serious about turning your Florida dream into reality, without the confusion, without the mistakes, joining the Inner Circle is the next step in that journey. Just enter gotoinnercircle.com in any browser to join today. That's all one word, gotoinnercircle.com. It's free, it's easy, and it's the next step on your path to Florida sunshine. I'm Russ Watson, and I'll see you next time.